Most guys think getting lean and fit requires a PhD in exercise science, or you have to be like the super disciplined Tibetan monk or something. But I've personally coached over 300 men and helped them lose a collective 5,000 plus pounds of body fat since 2017. I can promise you it's actually way simpler than that. And it's probably completely different than what you see on your Instagram feed, the fitness websites. Take my client Sean, for example. When he first came to me, he was stuck. He was trying to do keto, intermittent fasting, working out 6 days a week, going running exclusively. He even tried carnivore for a while, and everything made a little bit of progress, but he eventually stalled out and then reverted back to where he was to begin with. So once we started working together, we helped him build habits and systems that actually the 5 habits that we're going to talk about in this video. He was able to finally drop a substantial amount of body fat, 60 pounds over 7 months, and reveal and see his abs for the first time in his adult life. We didn't do it through a bunch of grinding and grueling workouts, and a bunch of David Goggins yelling and screaming at you discipline, and had plenty of fun during his 7 months. So my goal today is to give you the 5 habits that actually drove that transformation and the transformation of the vast majority of the guys that we work with, and help you figure out how to implement it into your life as well. So let's get it. First is going to be 30 grams first thing in the morning. Most of the time, by the time you get to the end of the night and you feel like you're raiding the pantry and like you're hungry, a lot of times that's going to be because of how you started the day at the beginning. One of the first things we implement with every single client is getting them to get 30 to 50. 30 grams is the actual floor. 50 is the goal, but 30 to 50 grams of protein every single breakfast. And this is within 30 minutes of waking up. By front loading our protein intake and prioritizing it, you're going to make sure that you're not spiking your blood sugar levels with just a carb breakfast, whether it be cereal or donuts or Pop-Tart or oatmeal. And I don't have a problem with oatmeal. I actually think oatmeal is a great part of a diet. But if all you're consuming is oatmeal and then you're running off to work, you're just getting carbs in the system, and you're not really getting anything that's going to satiate you. You're not really getting anything that's going to make you feel full and satisfied. Protein accomplishes that. And protein helps level out your blood sugar levels so that you have more consistent energy throughout the day, so that your hunger signals are where they're supposed to be throughout the day. This also allows you to easily get to your target. So many guys that I talk to struggle to hit the protein intake they're supposed to because the first meal of the day, they got 8 grams of protein in. So of course, you're not eating your next meal till 12, 1 o'clock. Of course, you're behind the 8 ball, but you still got to get 160 more grams in order to hit where your body needs to be in terms of protein intake. So you front load that, you feel fuller for longer, your blood sugar is more under control, which means your cravings are more under control, which means it's easier for you to go and ignore the snacks in the break room, or to turn down the greasy fried catering that your job might provide for you, or whatever the case may be, or just simply make a better decision when you go sit down at lunch with that client, or whatever the case may be. So 30 to 50 grams of protein first thing in the morning. Secondly, is going to be an 8,000 steps per day minimum goal. Guys love to ask me about like, hey, what's the best workout for this? What's the best thing to do for that? And while the workout is important, what are you doing the other 22, 23 hours of your day? Like, that's going to have so much more weight, so much more impact than just that workout alone. This is going to keep your non-exercise activity high, which is actually where we burn the vast majority of our calories. Somewhere between 75 to 90% of the calories you're going to burn in a day through activity are going to come through fidgeting, or taking a walk, or going from this office to that office, or opening and closing car doors, or holding the phone up, or whatever the case may be. Like, the little things that you're not even thinking about, is just the constant movement and activity is what our body prefers. So that's why I love to implement things like, hey, park at the end of the parking lot, take the stairs instead of the elevator, get up and get the thing on the other side of the room instead of asking somebody to bring it to you. Little things like this is what makes it so easy to hit those step targets without necessarily feeling like you're doing structured exercise. And then a big thing that I like to implement as well is taking a short walk. It can be 5-10 minutes, taking a short walk after every time you eat. Amazing for digestion, amazing for getting you in that eat then move cycle, and getting you to actually think about what it is that you just consumed, which means you'll probably make just as good or better of a decision during the next meal because you actually had time to think it out. So 8,000 steps a day is the minimum for pretty much any guy in pretty much any situation. In all honesty, 10,000 would probably be around where I'm capping you out. But 8 to 10,000 a day would be perfect. Number 3 is a closed kitchen protocol. This is a psychological habit more than a physical one, because it really doesn't matter what time of day you consume what foods from an energetic perspective, as far as like being in a calorie deficit. At the end of the day, your body just kind of tallies up everything that you consume. But there is a psychological component to when you eat food. And a lot of times, if you are getting to 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden you're getting hungry and you're getting like these cravings again, chances are you're not popping a chicken breast, broccoli, and brown rice into the microwave. You're gonna go grab something sweet, something salty, something greasy. And the reason for this is because you were supposed to go to bed. See, what happens as we tail off the end of the day, you get the kids ready for bed, you give them baths, you get them to sleep, you hang out with your wife, and y'all are watching TV or watching a Netflix series or whatever it is. You have your intimate time, whatever the case may be, and you're all that's wind down, all that's serotonin release, melatonin release, oxytocin release, all things that make it easier to go to sleep. But then you scroll your phone, you keep watching TV, you do whatever you're doing, and your body says, oh, well, I thought we were going to sleep, so that's why we started the secretion of all these sleep chemicals and rest chemicals, but you're not going to sleep, so we need some blood sugar. We need some sugar in the bloodstream to kind of perk up and get some fast energy. And we need some dopamine, because as all those, the serotonin, the melatonin, as those things are going up, the dopamine is going down so that you can go to sleep, because it's hard to go to sleep with dopamine and adrenaline and cortisol spiking. So all those things need to go down in order for you to go to sleep. But now that you're not going to sleep, all those things need to go up. You're going to crave things that get it to spike quickly. You need it quick because you don't want to fall asleep. So, or your body doesn't want you to fall asleep. So that's why at the end of the night, you eat things that you normally would not have eaten all day, things that you've said no to all day. You had a great breakfast, a great lunch, a great dinner, and then you get to the end of the night and you feel like you threw it all away. You're probably just staying up an hour or two later than you need to be. So get to sleep at a decent time first and foremost, and then also cut off the kitchen 2 hours before bed. So if you're going to go to sleep at 10 p.m., then by 8 p.m. you need to have taken your last bite of food. So setting a hard rule and a hard deadline for yourself in terms of when you can eat is actually a great way to make sure that you don't derail and sabotage your diet in the last couple of hours of being awake. Number 4 is pre-prepping your protein. Now, I know that we kind of hit on protein at the beginning, but I also am a huge proponent of you having a day of protein in the fridge at all times. Protein is typically going to be the hardest thing for you to prep. You've got to thaw it, you've got to cut it, you've got to season it, you've got to stand over the stove and cook it. Maybe you can pop it in the air fryer sometimes, but a lot of times it's going to take the most prepping energy. Carbs, a potato, you can throw in the oven. Rice, you can throw on the stove or just pop in the microwave if it's the 90-minute bags or whatever the case may be. Protein is the hardest to prep in terms of time constraints. And so if you can have a day's worth of chicken, ground beef, salmon, pork loin, fish, whatever it is on hand, that's going to allow you to always be able to hit your goals, because you can come in after a long day of work or from the kids' soccer game or basketball game or whatever, and throw some carbs on the stove real quick, pop the protein in the air fryer or the microwave, and you're ready for a meal within 15 minutes. Whereas that was not going to be the case if you came home to just now thawed out, completely raw chicken that you got to season and cook and prep. Like, it's just not going to happen. So always have a day of ready to eat proteins on hand. It's also a great snack as well. So that's how you want to approach it. It's like, if you have that protein on hand, it's going to make it so much easier for you to hit your targets and stay consistent. Have that satiety because you always have that protein in place. And even if you go get something from a restaurant, because we all know that restaurants really skimp out on protein. They might give you a 1,000-calorie meal, and you might have 25 grams of protein in terms of the chicken that they put with it, or the steak that they put with it, or whatever. So you can grab that takeout, and then you can combine that, whatever. Let's say you got a chicken and rice bowl from the Greek restaurant. You can combine the chicken that you got at home with that bowl, and all of a sudden you get a high protein, high quality chicken and rice bowl from a Greek spot, but it's made with the restaurant taste and quality and all that. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So that's why you always want to have some protein on hand, at least a full day's worth at all times. And you don't even have to cook it. You can go get it from Publix, from Sam's, from Costco, from Whole Foods, from Fresh Market. Like, all of these places sell containers and tubs of ready to eat proteins that you can grab and go and just stick in the fridge, stick in the freezer. Like, literally, once one finishes out, throw it away, grab one out the freezer, put it in the fridge. Tomorrow it's going to be thawed out and ready for you. So the game is super easy and super simple if you want to take advantage of it. And last but not least, focus on habits, not feelings. A lot of guys get in their feelings and they derail their progress by being upset about what the scale says, or trying to look in the mirror and see if you see a difference. Like, all of these things are subjective or lagging indicators. Like, yes, the scale number is what the scale number is, but the scale number is an amalgamation of what you've done the last, 72, 48, 24 hours. It is a lagging indicator. You cannot physically control what the scale says, but what you can control is the habits that get the scale number to be different, the habits that get your body to look different in terms of how much protein did I eat today, how many workouts did I get in this week, how many steps did I average this week. Those things are what you want to put your control into. Those things are what you want to put your faith into, in terms of like, where are my emotions at? Like, what am I banking the progress that I should be seeing on? Because now, instead of looking at the scale as its own entity, or looking at your body in the mirror as its own entity, now you can start looking at things that you have direct control over. And I think when you take control and when you take power of your transformation, of your journey, that's when you start to create real change and lasting progress. Because now, instead of being emotional about things you can't control, now it's, didn't necessarily weigh in where I wanted to this week, but I only, hit protein targets 1 out of 5 days. I only hit 2 out of my 4 workouts. I only hit my step target 3 out of the 5 days. So I know I have a lot of room and opportunities to improve, and that's a good thing. You just got to do the basics. So if you know that you're not hitting the mark on the basics, that's an easy opportunity to improve. And that's what you want. You don't want to be a complex case. You want things to be simple, because that means that we already have a solution in place. We just got to actually follow it and execute on it. Focus on the habits required to get to the transformation, and not just whether or not you're seeing the transformation, because you can't control the transformation. You can control the inputs that cause the output that is the transformation. Getting lean and fit does not require some secret sauce. It does not require to be super technical. It doesn't require you to go and get a nutritionist degree or anything like that. You just need simple, sustainable habits in place that can flex and bend with you in your life, no matter where you are, what you got going on, or how busy you are. 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking, 8,000 steps per day minimum, close and shop in the kitchen by 8 p.m. or 2 hours before your bedtime, having a day of pre-prepped, ready to go proteins in the fridge at all times, and then focusing on the habits, aka the inputs, and not the outputs that you want to see. You have the right habits and the right health systems in place, getting your body in great shape is going to be easy. It's going to happen on autopilot. That's the process that you want. You want to focus on the inputs, focus on the habits, focus on things like this that we just talked about, and getting your body in great shape is going to happen. If you would like systems like this built and integrated into your specific life, what you need in order to drop stubborn fat, build lean muscle, and get healthier and fitter than ever, click the first link down in our description. Take the metabolic assessment. It's going to give me all the info that I need on you, your goals, your struggles, your roadblocks. And then I'm going to walk you through the exact game plan that we will utilize for you if you are a private client. And then from there, you can either take it and run with it on your own, or you can hire us to help you get to where you need to be in a faster, more efficient way. You got value out of this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so that you don't miss any more uploads going forward. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.